Hi, welcome to Let's Talk About Death. I'm Tammy Beilstein.
And I'm Sarah Lunsford.
We thought we would talk about obituaries.
Obituaries.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, Sarah has worked for a newspaper for
ever. Yes. And I used to
know
actually,
more about this.
when I first started, many moons ago, I did obituaries. And at that time, what would happen is typically the mortuary would send us a form. And it would, there were certain things that needed to be included: the name, the birth date, the death date, who they were, survivors. Sometimes all of the survivors and their spouses are mentioned. Sometimes it's just the survivors, the children and grandchildren. And they would write up a little bit of a blurb about that person. And through the years, it's gotten a little bit sparser than that. And actually, they also, if there was a memorial service already planned, they would include the time, date, all the particulars about the memorial, because the obituary was really an announcement of death to let people know that not only has this person in the community died, but where to go to the funeral or the memorial service or the celebration
and this
of life.
was before Facebook, internet, in fact, and emails and all of that. So
not
it
quite
needed to be
before
done.
Internet.
Not before internet?
No.
Oh, when you started?
Yeah, when I started. I do remember when the internet started. Dare I admit that? I do remember that.
I mean, obituaries. we're happening before the internet.
There used to be the announcement. There used to be a very specific stationery that was used for a death announcement, and it was a little card, and it had white with black writing and a black border. And when someone opened that, they knew they were going to pull out a death announcement.
Wow.
So that's from way back when.
That sounds fancy.
1800s.
Yeah. It's
so
like, you're invited.
You're invited. Hello.
That's a neat idea.
But
very
we don't
different
do that
now.
anymore. Very, very different
It's very
now.
different.
And obituaries are very streamlined now. Usually, it depends. And again, these are sort of generalities because each newspaper is different, each area of the country is different, each area of the world is different in how they deal with announcements, death announcements. Now a very streamlined version of, this person passed away, gets sent to the newspaper from the mortuary typically. A lot of mortuaries actually have their own websites, and you give them a photograph.
That is nice.
And they put up an obituary. But if you want something that is more detailed about your loved one that has passed away, maybe if they were in the military, where they served, what they did, their profession later on, how much they were loved and cared for, you actually have to take out advertising space for that, and you'll have to pay for that to go into the paper.
I just love reading those, though. Those are my
they're
favorite.
Wonderful.
The funny ones, there are some that are so funny, and then there are some also that have been very moving.
Yes.
I remember seeing some where maybe the person died of a drug or alcohol overdose, and the family writes something up as a way to share with other people, to let them know this is what we have gone through. This is it. This is the real life and death. This is what happened. One thing I wanted to mention, though, is because I work for hospice, I do a lot of different meetings and things, and something that has come up before in all over the place, not so much here where we live, but in a lot of places in our country, are people using the obituaries as a way to find out where and when someone is going to be at a certain time in case they want to do harm.
Yes.
We've heard of times when an obituary was used, and the bad guy sees that this family is going to be gone to a service on this date at this time, and they're probably going to be gone for a few hours, and it's to them it's like an invitation to come and do what they want with no one around, and it's so sad. It's sickening. Actually, it makes me sick. So that is why, that is why I am not opposed to people using Facebook and email. It seems so impersonal. An invitation, or announcement, would be nice also to tell the people that you want to make sure that they know that to be there. And then later, maybe later afterward, post an obituary, if you like that, the more traditional way of doing things, and say this person lived and died. This is what they, how they lived their life, what they did for a living, and we held the services on this date in this place after the fact.
And there's another aspect of the after the fact obituaries as well, and that is in our country and actually the Western world as well. There's a lot of movement of people as they get older. They move near their children. They maybe move near a loved one, which is a distance away from where they actually lived their lives. So what you can do so that people back where they lived most of their lives know is you contact the newspaper in that community, and you tell them this is what's happened, and they have whole departments, a lot of the big newspapers that deal with obituaries from quote out of town, so that people would know that
you
that's
have the
what
obituary
happened.
placed in the newspaper where that person lived most of their life.
Yes, exactly.
I like that idea.
Yeah, because you never know who that person knew or what lives they touched, and people care about this stuff. They care about someone passing away, even if they haven't seen him for 20 years, and they remember the good things, or the funny things, or just the general things about that person. And it's just one of those things, just to make sure you put the obituary maybe not just in one spot, maybe two spots, where that person lived. So
I love that.
And a lot of it is done online now. A lot of it is done you can do it by the telephone, but a lot of it is email, a lot of it is online, and you have those opportunities, and it's not as painful, I think, as it used to be, as far as trying to reach the right person at the paper, quite frankly. And
I know some people think that it's impersonal to do it that way, but this is the world we live in.
Exactly.
It needs to be done. And speaking of internet, if you are at a point where you are needing to write an obituary for someone and you don't know where to begin, and you're really intimidated about doing something like that, you can go online and look at sample obituaries. There are some places I've seen where you can kind of choose what sort of theme you want, where you want to focus on their family life or what sort of work they did, or make it funny, whatever you want. And it's almost like a fill in the blank kind of thing. So that'll help you, at least to get you started, if you need to write something
So don't
like
be
that.
intimidated by that. A lot of people are intimidated by writing obituaries. I've had a lot of people ask me if I could write an obituary for them, and it's not as onerous as people think it is. It's not about the writing, it's about what you include and saying something that's from your heart, because when you write from your heart, it's like speaking from your heart, and it's going to touch another person's heart. And don't worry about it. I mean, at the end of the day, the newspapers are not going to let you get away with not writing things correctly too. They'll massage it a little bit, let me put it that way. So just write from your heart, and if you do have somebody in the family that writes really well, get them to write it too.
Are you going to write mine?
If you want me to, I'll say she loved Reese's. That's the first one. Peanut butter cups.
Well, C's candy.
And
Reese's and
Bordeaux.
I'll make you a list.
Okay. She loved to eat. And we called her Miss a Peanut Butter Cup.
That'd be awesome. I might
Yeah.
leave some tips for you so you can make to really personalize my obituary.
Your obituary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna make it awesome.
Yeah.
People will be talking about it for generations. Yeah. They're gonna say, "I wish I knew her."
I wish I knew her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
what I want. Oh, thank you.
There we go.
I guess that's it, right?
That's it for obituaries.
All right.
Yes.
Any
so-
obituary questions?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know. Put it in the comments. Just ask away, and we'll try to answer you. And if not, we'll try to find the answer.
We'll find it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Awesome.
So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.